What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. We're back with another press conference reaction, and I've got a special guest with me today. Indeed, I've got, we don't usually call you this. Fleckington is here to break down
I
the
shouldn't
press
even be on this
conference.
side.
I know, but I don't. The thing is, I'm very comfortable on this
You're
side.
used to,
You know what I mean?
you're used to just, being
This
that
is
side.
just, when it's other people, I switch to the other side. But when it's you, that's your seat. I'm not going to take your seat. I'm not going to do that.
Thank
So
you.
we're back, though, for a press conference reaction. Manchester United versus Brentford tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff, untelevised, at Old Trafford, Saturday, 3 p.m. And Erik ten Hag has spoken to the assembled media at Carrington ahead of the big game, answering quite a few questions. And a general thought, I think, that he was trying to get across, Flex, was communication. Teamwork. We've got to stay united. We've got to stay on the same page. We've got to communicate. And he was asked about a variety of topics. Marcus Rashford, Andre Onana, levels dropping off with a sprinkle of a Jadon Sancho question in there that he didn't even verbally answer this time. He just shook his head. So there's plenty to get into. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. As Skirpus123 says, Reguilon is out, bruv. Which I believe is, that might be like sort of KG analysis. Reguilon.
Reguilon, bro. Best thing ever. Honestly.
Nevertheless, we're also a little bit late. It was meant to start at 2:00, but we were 15 minutes late because the press conference actually got extended a little bit because there was a bit before it actually started where Erik ten Hag started to talk. That was about a campaign that's actually launching tomorrow at Old Trafford by the Manchester United Foundation, which it's a donate a coat campaign. And they actually do these campaigns, they were saying, sort of every year. And usually it's people donate things that they give to the sort of local community that they serve in Greater Manchester, as well as a bit more nationally or globally, if indeed they get quite a lot of donations, etc. He said usually they ask for food at this time of the year, but this time around, actually, they've just asked for coats because they said they'd rather stay warm. I mean, that's kind of the level of poverty that we're talking about in certain areas. So tomorrow, there's going to be a donate a coat campaign, which if you are attending the match, there's going to be 6 bag drops, they said, around the stadium. I think they're open pre-match from 12 p.m. and they're going to be staying open after the match as well. So if you can share something, if you are going to the game, you can bring a coat with you and you can put it in one of these drops and it can go to a good cause, a well-worthy cause.
Really good initiative.
You're thinking of donating a coat tomorrow.
Definitely, yeah, not thinking, definitely will be. I've got quite, when he said there, you always have like coats that are just hanging up on the back of the door or it's been in your wardrobe for a while, or sometimes you have like winter coats that go away in a separate bag in your garage or under your bed or whatever, and they just get filed away. And then when it gets around to the next winter or the next autumn or next summer, you go, I don't really, I'm just going to get new ones. And you end up just bringing them down the tip anyway, like, and just put them in the clothes. That's what I do a lot. I do a lot of trips to like the tip.
Yeah, they're just in your wardrobe. They're just in your wardrobe. And they're ones, like you said, they're on the back of the door. You go, I'll never wear that.
Never wear it.
100%. As they mentioned, they're not asking for money or anything like that. They just said if you've got a coat.
It's literally that most people, obviously, again, it's harder to ask for money, isn't it? Of course, it's a really difficult climate right now in society. But in terms of, clothing, I think more people would be inclined to have some, like a coat they don't wear or might have grown out of, or other kids, because, look how many kids grow out of their own stuff. And adults who have kids who have, nephews, nieces and stuff like that, they don't wear it anymore. Perfect. I think it's a really good initiative. So I'll definitely be bringing some down. So if you are at Old Trafford tomorrow, going to the game, bring an extra coat with you that you don't need, man. Just put it in the bag drop.
Indeed, because apparently it's going to be nice weather as well tomorrow.
Yes. And actually, when he said that, I was like, oh, was it? And I went and checked on the thing. 22 degrees in Manchester with no rain. That's basically summer. So, yeah.
Yes, exactly. But going back to football, first question to Ten Hag was, what qualities do you need to see tomorrow? Of course, particularly coming off the back of some really horrific form. And Erik ten Hag said, quote, consistency. That is the problem we are struggling with in parts of the games. In big parts, we do a lot of things right, but we have moments where we struggle. And in such moments, we can't survive. We need to do the right thing, be consistent, and do it like before. So definitely you can mark such a moment when we score or concede a goal. We have to step up. Basically, he's saying, again, consistency and concentrate. Concentrate particularly in those moments when you score or you concede or a decision goes against you. I mean, it's not really new news, is it, Flex? But at the same time, it's interesting that he's pointing that out straight away. When he's saying, what do you need to improve? He's not really talking about actual play or tactics or stuff like that. He's talking about basic fundamentals up here. The Marcus Rashford point, mentality. That's what it's really all about. And he's right. If we do react to those moments better, we've got a much better chance of winning the game. If, for instance, when you go 1-0 up at the Emirates, if you don't concede straight away, you're probably going to do well. If when you play Galatasaray and you go ahead, you don't concede straight away twice, you're going to probably do quite well, aren't you?
Exactly that. It's funny. It's interesting to hear him just say it as simply as that, because when you know, like when I've been coming across like other content creators or friends, and they go, "What? Honestly, what is going on at United? What you know? What's happening?" Because obviously they see either the highlights and they just see the result. But we watch Man United for 90 minutes, and I know like we're in the mud, but when you actually deep it, like, it is the mistakes that are killing us more than anything. Obviously, injuries and players playing a little bit out of position here or there. And I know we can say, you know, Rashford doesn't deserve to play, or Bruno, da da da. But essentially, the main thing with the team that is available, they just keep making massive mistakes. You know, against Bayern Munich, we're in complete control. There's no problems. There's no worry. The whole of the Alliance is silent. Onana does that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've just scored at home to Galatasaray. Place is rocking. Dallo does that. We score again. Place is rocking. What a goal, Hoyland. He's announced himself. He's in front of Stretford and doing this. All of that, yeah? 2 minutes later, whatever it's 4 minutes, ball's in the back of it. Like, it's just
even when it's
those
2-2,
mistakes.
even when it's 2-2,
Even when it's
Onana
2-2.
makes a mistake, you know, gives it out,
Exactly.
causes a
The
penalty.
Arsenal one that you said as well. Score
Yeah,
against Arsenal at the Emirates. 2 years in a row, by the way. 1-0 up with a great Rashford goal. Within minutes, we're equal. So, you know what I mean? It is exactly that. It's mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. So by you know, by metric, if you just eradicate the mistakes, which clearly is easier said than done for this team at the moment, but if you do that, we would be in a position where we've got more points on the board, but we'd be saying we're not playing at our best, but you know, we've won 8 out of the last 10 in all comps. You know, we had one draw and one loss against Arsenal. Fair enough. We're building, get players back. Then the emphasis shifts onto we haven't really got our players in yet. That's why we're not playing our best football, but we're getting results. But because we're losing consistently, it feels maybe like it's all over and maybe Ten Hag ain't the right guy. But in fact, if they stop making mistakes, we might actually have half a chance.
Well, and also it does line up with reporting that his biggest frustration is the mentality of some players in terms of setbacks in the game, because he points to it there when he says, like, when you score a goal or when you concede a goal, or if a decision doesn't go your way, that's not an excuse to completely fall apart, essentially, is what he's saying. He said, and it was really interesting because this is a point you'll see as we go through these quotes. He hammered home again and again and again, being on the same page, communicating with each other, staying consistent, be consistent in your communication. In the moment that you need to, do the right things. And again, if we score a goal, we concede a goal, moments go against you, big parts of the game, you've got to be a team. And he says we have to step up. And it's true. Again, it's how many times have we said, I mean, I saw what you said in the preview of Natalie Sawyer. If Brentford score, we'll probably lose because we don't react well to any adversity. But what he's saying there is, if that happens, that can happen in a football match. And if it does, stay consistent, stay calm, communicate with each other, and keep the basics going. And again, I think that's a really good point that he points out there, certainly. He also then moved on. The follow-up question to that was because Ten Hag said, I kind of pushed back on these percentages a little bit. He said, in 95% of the game, we're fine. And you go, I'm not sure it's a strong 95,
I wouldn't
but
say
nevertheless, they pushed back the journalist and said, okay, well, then why is the team suffering in the 5% of those moments? And he said, quote, we've been doing research. He said, it's difficult, but you do research and look at it. We've spoken about it. How can we improve and make some agreements about that? I think it's more than one factor. Concentration is one, but there are other things. And it was quite interesting because they said, okay, it's more than one thing, but he only really said concentration.
Yeah.
But
maybe because those things, like, he's not going to go into like players not doing their jobs, you know, you wasn't communicating, no accountability, things that he would like bollock the players for in the, you know, in-house. Do you know what I mean?
But once again, he kind of reiterated the point where he just said, stay on the same page, make sure you're clear of your communication, just be consistent. And that's it. And it's very interesting because when you look at, for instance, last weekend against Palace, we were chatting after the game. Where did their free kick come from for the goal? It came from like a 2-3 minute period. Basically, we just gave the ball away. We just gave the ball away over and over again.
Every period, time. I keep thinking back because I was so angry. I was going, what are we doing? Keep the ball. Like, just put your
Mm.
foot on it. Like, Dallo rushing into things, kicking it straight back to Ayew, so they got it again. Casemiro, edge of the box, hacks it away, so the ball just keeps coming. Amrabat, stupid foul. At the end of that whole passage, I was just like, what are we thinking? Even if you just go back to Onana or something and just boot it all the way down the other end of the pitch, get a throw in high up, and then we could just regroup. Game management, and even that, you should be able to pass your way out of trouble, by the way, at the top level. I'm just saying we're incompetent of that right now. But even if we did that, rather than just keep giving away at the edge of your own box and eventually conceding a stupid free kick, which led to the goal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is where you do sympathise a bit with the manager, because you say, well, that's not on him. That
No.
player's just being shit. Like, what are they doing in that instance? So I think he's, looking for concentration, communication, and also a bit more of a mentality. As far as team news, and Rob Dawson from ESPN had said before the press conference that Reguilon had trained with Manchester United today, which led to a lot of people assuming, right, he's back. He's going to be starting tomorrow. The question was put to him, how ready is Reguilon? And Ten Hag said, not for tomorrow. So Ten Hag is not going to be ready. Reguilon is not going to be ready for tomorrow. So I don't know if that means he's going to be on the bench. I mean, he might be in the squad maybe, but it kind of implied that he's probably not going to be available at all.
I think
Jadon Sancho. This was very quick, by the way. When Reguilon, not for tomorrow, went Jadon Sancho went. It was like the shortest. It didn't even respond. Anthony, he said, ready for a start. So what you get from that is Reguilon, not available. Again, you never know. Might be on the bench, but not for tomorrow. Sancho, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Anthony, he might as well have said he's starting. Yeah, Anthony will start tomorrow.
Well, we knew that. We knew that. We literally said it on the morning show. Any sort of inclination or positivity towards Ten Hag being able to get back to his preferred 11, which I know we have our reservations about Anthony and he needs to do better, but it includes Anthony in the starting 11. He will play. He will 100% be starting, especially because look on the right hand side. We've had Palestri out there. We've had Bruno out there. There hasn't been a sure, sharp favourite since Anthony and Sancho have been out the teams, has there? There's been a bit of a mix around, which shows that Ten Hag's like, I'll just get through this until Anthony comes back, and maybe he fought until Sancho comes back, but clearly that didn't happen. So yeah, Anthony's going to be in. Might not be able to play 90 minutes, but he's definitely going to start.
Yeah, and also realistically, once things really started to turn sour on Tuesday, what's one of the first things he did to try and recapture the game? Brought Anthony on straight away, like I was going to be his exactly. Hero with that kind of thing. So I think near enough.
And then we got a man sent off in it. Was Anthony come on first?
I don't know. I feel like it might have gone 2-2 and then he came on. I think maybe. Yeah.
And then
nevertheless, again, Anthony is clearly his guy to to turn things around. So Anthony is going to start. Now, this was really, I suppose, the really interesting part of the press conference. There was a lot about Marcus Rashford, a lot of questions about him, and a lot of really strong quotes from Ten Hag, really backing the player. I mean, this is a manager giving his full belief, his full backing to a player that's clearly struggling. And also, when we were watching it, I think it's near enough an indication, the same way that we said Anthony's starting, Marcus Rashford is starting tomorrow, based on what Eric Ten Hag was saying. So the question was put to Ten Hag, Rashford, what's the difference compared to last season and this season? They also spoke about the goals that he had scored by this point as well. And Ten Hag said, quote, it's normal not to always be at the same levels. Everyone knows the quality of him. Also, the opposition knows. But if Rashi is doing things right and the team is doing things right, putting him in the right places, then it's up to him. We have seen in the last weeks, he's getting into good positions. Now he's a little bit struggling, but this will pass because everyone knows his qualities. Everyone at Manchester United backs him. The whole team is supportive of him and believes in him. So I'm sure with that confidence, with that belief, this will change and pass. Now, he also then was spoken about, is it just a confidence thing? Does he just need the spark? Does he just need to score a couple of goals and then he'll be back? And he said, quote, strikers, when they don't score, they need a moment and it will come. He's so experienced, and when he's doing the right things and the team is, the momentum will come and he'll be on fire. That was the thing he used. On fire. Not as he'll be good. He'll be on fire, Flex. Now, once again, because he did this last week, and I pushed back on this last week, and I've got to keep the same energy when it comes to this. Whenever he's talking about Rashford, he's also quick to point out that the team needs to support him. The team needs to support him.
They don't want to single him out
in the right positions. But at the same time, you go, but they are. they are. They are supporting him. They're finding him. I saw Mason Mount last weekend and on Tuesday go out of his way to find Marcus Rashford, put him into situations to the point that we were talking about, hey, Palestri's barely touched the ball in the first half in particular, because it was all going down the left-hand side. And similarly on Tuesday as well, a lot of it was going down the left-hand side. So again, I don't think it's a case of, the team's struggling to find him, or it's the team not supporting Rashford. It's a case of, it's Rashford's got to help Rashford. And the biggest thing you took away straight away is you went to me, he's starting tomorrow. That's it. There's no doubt.
Easy. It's a case of, right, what we've been saying. Remember I said that he doesn't want to attack Rashford. He doesn't want to upset that apple cart too much. There's a point that he'll go to, which is taking him off in the games and taking him off a little bit earlier to show, okay, it hasn't gone right for you in this game. But in terms of from the off and then keep trying to kind of restart the ignition to get him going, he ain't going to give up. I think, if anything, we're wasting our breaths now in terms of like him going to take him out. I know, like, if it went to, people could argue that it is as bad, right? But it's not. I know there's not much between it, but it's not as bad. Remember the season that he did have in the Ollie Ranić year, where he literally couldn't control a ball. He wouldn't even be able to get that assist he did the other day. And I know you're going to say he still can't. He's giving it away. And there's not much difference. Not a million miles off. It's not a million miles off. But with the credit, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but I'm saying it from Ten Hag's point of view of why I think he's behaving how he is towards Rashford versus the energy for anybody else, right? Is because of the credit that he's got from last year. And two, like I said, if he goes for Rashford and it don't work out, and you try and do the Garnacho thing, and Garnacho's shit, and we still lose. I know everyone says, well, I believe, well, then that's what should happen. You're the manager. You pick who's playing good. But in Ten Hag's eyes, he's going, no, I can't risk that. I cannot risk that. Instead, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do the opposite. And anytime I get a chance to actually verbally speak about Rashi, I'm going to make sure that I say it ain't just him, it's the whole team. And I'm going to make sure that I gas him up even. There's no need to say he will be on fire when he gets. There's no need to say that.
Yeah,
but
there's
you know what I mean? Like, if anything, you could say he's kind of putting a bit more pressure on him because he's so far off it right now. But how it comes across is, think about it. If you're Rashi, you're going, he still rates me. You know, he's still backing me. You know what I mean? So then if he does come out of this period, Ten Hag can say, hey, see, when you was going through it, mate, I was with you. Now, some people can say, you didn't do that with Sancho. You didn't do this with whoever. You didn't do that. That's what I'm saying. There's certain players who do get preferential treatment. That is Bruno, and that is Rashford. And actually, it's been at the detriment of the team. That's what we're all talking about. It has. Yeah. But he's still saying those two are immovable. And it is kind of a problem. The longer this continues with us not winning games and them not playing well, it becomes more and more of a problem every week. The only thing to change it is for us to start winning games. And not just start winning games, by the way, them two to be part of it as well.
I just, like you said, I think his mindset is, look, Rashford was, great for large portions last season. Not the whole season, but he was great for large portions last season, had the best season of his career. If I can get him back to nearly that, obviously that makes a massive difference to us. And if that means me really mollycoddling him, trying to be as nice as I possibly can, backing him in the presses and in the media, then that's what I've got to do. But he must know. I mean, like, he keeps pointing out, like, he's going, Rashford's getting in good positions. And I understand his point with that. If he's really out of form, he doesn't even get in positions. But I feel like that's the trajectory of it, though. I feel like that's where we're heading towards. Because, for instance, second half against Palace, he just drifted out the game. First half, he was wasteful. Second half, he got shifted to the right at one point, and he just did nothing, and then just came off. Same on really Tuesday. Yes, started okay in terms of got the assist and all that, but still was after he messed up that chance of him and Bruno, it just after that again, Ten Hag was like, I got to take him off. He's gone. And again, I don't know if he's maybe thinking that. Do you think he really believes? It's just a case of him getting a goal. He'll just get a goal, spark him back.
I think he does believe that. I do. Listen, I think Ten Hag
wouldn't
really
Arsenal
likes
been
Rashford.
a spark for him then? Because that was a brilliant goal against Arsenal. Wouldn't have that been the spark?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it hasn't happened since then. He means another spark.
He means another one.
He means another one. He means just once his confidence is up. Listen, Rashford, as we say, is a confidence moments player. That's what he is. If he's proper confident, Rashford's doing flip flaps. He's nutmegging people. chopping them at the line. They go sliding past. He's shooting instinctively, not too much time to think about it. Bang, goal. Chop, bang, goal. Chop, bang, cross. Like when he's confident, he just doesn't think about things. And when he's not confident, he starts overthinking everything and doing all kinds of mad things. And then his
Is that
body language
sustainable,
goes,
though? Is
of
that
course it's not.
sustainable?
Of
Because we're
course
going to
it's
get
not.
to this. We're going to do this again. So, for instance, if he was to get back into form, we get Rashford of last season for 3 months. We go, oh, brilliant. Rashford's back. Ten Hag, you're right. You backed him. Blah blah blah. But we would have this thing in the back of our heads going, but it'll go back to what he was like a few months ago. At some point, like he'll drop off again because he's done it before. You know, he has that drop off in him, and I think that's people's point also, is saying that Marcus Rashford, in the way that he plays and the way that his form is very cyclical, that's not sustainable for winning
No.
trophies long term.
It
That's the
feels like, do you
problem
know what it
too.
feels like? It feels like, well, that's what Garnacho is supposed to be, which we get to the point though, but the manager doesn't use it. It feels like with Rashi, what we have to have is the guy who is the consistent guy. So I don't know whether that would be buying someone like Matoma or promoting Garnacho properly so he plays more or whatever. And then Rashford's the guy that when he's in shit hot form, you play him because it's going to be fine. But as soon as he's not in that, the other guy plays. Do you know what I mean? But when we get to the bit where the other guy should play, the other guy ain't playing. Do you know what I mean? Because the manager don't want to upset the apple cart. And two, the other guy is Garnacho, and he's earned out of the last couple of performances. Yeah, we're saying starting. But can you put your hand on your heart and say that he will deliver? We don't know because he's still not that guy. But what we can say is that he's earning the chance to get one start and see. Let's see, because it's got to be better than what Rashi's doing from the start of the minute. So, and Ten Hag will do the thing of got an assist. Game before that, got an assist. Like he's getting a couple of assists. So he will go on that and say if he could just get the mistakes out, he's still impacting the game. That's what he would say.
I think you're right. I do think he's basically thought about it and said, look, I don't need to pick this fight at the moment. I've got
Yeah, I
enough.
can't afford to. Yeah, I've got
I've
enough.
got enough. I've got.
Yeah.
But the problem is, then he's relying on, let's face it, an inconsistent player to be consistent. Otherwise, he might lose his job. That is,
Exactly.
I mean, that is a heck of a dice roll by Eric
Yeah,
Ten
he's
Hag.
brave.
That's
Listen, he's brave.
Step back says flex, as the Japanese says, a wari da for Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, I
Do you
don't know what
speak
that
Japanese,
means.
flex?
I do not. I hope that's not a bad swear word or anything like that, by the way.
Shall I
Hope it ain't
check
been
it?
done. Yeah. Yeah. Copy and paste that. What does that mean?
It's a popular catchphrase, often said by an anime character from Dragon Ball Super, meaning "it's over."
Oh, well.
I believe that they put a similar super chat in the other day to KG, and he definitely got that reference. But when it comes to anime, I mean, both of
He
us
knows
aren't
about
gonna.
that.
Both of us aren't gonna. We're gonna struggle in that.
Oh, do you not know about it? I thought you do it. I thought you watch it.
No,
Oh, right, okay.
KG.
It's a Josh and
Got
KG
me.
thing. They know about that stuff, yeah.
Well, I watched. What was it? Attack on Titan. I think I watched a few episodes of that, and I got very angry at the child in it. And KG said that made me some kind of a bad person. But
right,
you know,
I just watched Boondocks after recognizing what it was, and apparently that's anime. So
I don't know what that is. I've been watching on Netflix a thing about aliens. It's really good. You should watch it. I think it's called Encounters. It's excellent. It's a documentary.
Is it? Nah,
You're not into
is it
that?
just not really? Oh, we
Oh, it's
saw
good
this
though,
thing,
Flex.
and
Oh, it's
here's the
good.
evidence. Here's the light that we saw beaming down from the sky.
Yeah,
It was
Steven
caught
Spielberg
on
is the producer for it. It's good.
Steven Spielberg. So, but it's a documentary
Yeah.
about real life or special effects. And
No real life. No real life. These incidents and like scientists looking at it, people from NASA and.
Nah, I used to watch that thing where they go in the dark. What's that man's name? The woman's name?
It's
That
not
program.
that. It's not Most Haunted with Derek Akora.
Yeah, that's it. Derek Akora.
It's not.
Oh, I've seen something.
It's miles
Oh,
different from Derek Akora.
I've just heard something. I'll tell you what. There's something in that room. There's something in that room. I've heard it.
But that's a crazy, guy from Liverpool, whatever, getting, just saying stuff. This is like, real stuff with evidence in like the papers, national stuff. There's one of like these kids in like the 80s in Wales. And they're at school and they all come in and say they saw a spaceship and they go right, all of you. Well, there they go. They go right, all of you. Then spoilers. Go into a room, individually and draw it, and they all draw the same thing.
So that means I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that.
It's good.
I'm not watching that crap. No.
Why would literally a school full of like 8-year-olds all get hysterical saying we saw a
Hey,
spaceship and then
there's a
draw the same thing?
all kids know what there's a generic spaceship that's like that little saucer thing. Every
Yeah, but
kid
it
knows
all
that.
looked the same. It all looked the same. Had a little red
It's like
light on
saying
top of
every
it.
kid say you draw an alien. They're gonna draw that big bug head thing
They
with the
wouldn't draw
two
the same
eyes.
thing. They wouldn't draw the same. The fact it was the same thing.
Well, they rehearsed it. They're kids. It would be funny.
No, no, and they get on to this. They're adults now, Flex, and they interview them. They're like, "No, we saw it."
God, this is ridiculous. Move on. I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that.
Nicholas with the super chat says, Ange got Spurs playing in 2 months. Richarlison has more goals and assists in the Prem this year than Rashi. I want changes. I trust Ten Hag, but the clock is ticking. Well, I mean, if you want to compare Richarlison to Rashi this season, you could say, okay, but compare it to last season as well. I mean, we can do comparisons, can't we? Who would you rather have at the moment, Flex? Rashford or Richarlison?
Rashford. Come on, let's not be silly.
And Benji says Rash lacks intensity and consistency. I have no faith as well. We've got over 700 people. We've got over 700 people watching. If you haven't already, click the like button. We've got 111 in terms of the likes. We can do better. We can get higher. We can get to. I was trying to do some kind of UFO pun, sort of out of this universe numbers. Yeah, we're going to keep going for it. We're going to keep going for it.
Mate.
All right. Well, let's go to the next question. This is the thing, Flex. Yeah, a lot of the time when I'm doing these press conferences alone, people put in the comments, if Flex was here, you wouldn't get away with some of the stuff you're saying because I'll go on big tangents.
This is what's going on.
Yeah, I'll do it with you here. I don't mind. No problem. No issue. No issue. Flex doesn't believe. Well, do you believe in aliens? That's the question, actually. I was going to say you don't believe in aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
No, I'm just not naive to think that in that whole universe galaxy thing, that we're the only people, species, things that exist in it. So I wouldn't even call them aliens in terms of, coming down and doing that.
It's a great impression. It's a great impression of an alien.
Exactly.
It's top notch. People would like to talk about your impressions, and that might be one of your best.
Just one of the best. You know what I mean? Obviously, E.T., you know what I mean? I'm a massive Men in Black fan. It's one of my favorite films. Yeah.
Last one was rubbish.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That's not real Men in Black. That international rubbish thing. Yeah,
no, not that one. I mean, the third one, Men in Black 3.
Number 3. No spoilers, but I didn't mind it. Didn't mind how they did it. I mean, we can do spoilers because that's ages ago.
The endings, the twist.
I like that. I like that.
Good. That's quite.
I like that. Yeah. But the story, it looked like that man should have been from Marvel. That guy with the goggles who does the thing. He looked a bit like
that actually freaks me out. The thing coming out of his hand.
Yeah, so that was awful.
Like it.
Awful.
It made my skin crawl. Oh,
normally I'd be scared of things like that, but for aliens, I'm not naive enough to think that we're the only things or people that exist in the whole realm. But
statistically, But that means actually there might be stuff like us out there. There might be, statistically, yes.
Yeah. We're aliens to them people.
Exactly.
Them things. Because they're not people, whatever they are. Anyway.
Exactly. There you go. Goalkeepers and defence at Manchester United. Now, the question was put to Ten Hag saying, look, you've got a new goalkeeper, not a settled defence, 18 goals conceded in 10 games. You don't have many injured defenders coming back soon. So what can you do? And Ten Hag said, we've had to make changes in the lineup almost every game, and the routine changes. You make mistakes as a team, and the opponent takes benefit from it. So we need to be on the same page. We need communication in such moments to be well organised. So he basically said that the way to overcome it is not make these stupid mistakes, which, again, it's not untrue, is it realistically? You look at the goals we are conceding. Some of them are so basic. Some of them are so bad. But that is when you point to the manager and you say, well, if they keep happening, shouldn't you try and change something to kind of shore up a little bit? Why are you insisting on playing the same style then every single time? And I do sympathize with him when it comes to the injuries, because our best back four, have we even played it this season? Maybe the first game?
Maybe like Wolves? Game 1 and 2, maybe against Spurs as well. Maybe.
But not on a consistent level. We haven't played our best back four, And people will debate what that even is, actually. But I think people would probably say, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka or Dalot. Maybe Wan-Bissaka you'd put in there.
I don't think there is a debate. I think that's what it is. It's Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Dalot, Varane. It is.
Right, so that's our best defence. And even then, it wasn't our best version of that defence because clearly Martinez wasn't full strength at that point.
Yeah,
he was having issues with his foot. So we haven't played that. So you could put an argument down to that, but still, and again, I sympathise with the change, but still, there's some of the goals we've conceded are so basic, so bad.
Yeah. Proper pathetic goal. You just look at a goal and you go, That's pathetic.
Yeah, you go, that's awful.
What are you doing?
I
That's
think you
how I
said it in one
felt
of
the
your
other day.
reactions against
That's how I
Galatasaray. Yeah.
felt. That's literally how I felt with both goals. Well, all three of them. I was like,
Mm.
look at you. Like, what are you doing? Like, it more not, you know, when people are ringing out saying, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. I was disgusted.
Yeah.
Not disappointed. I was disgusted with it. I wasn't disappointed. I was like, no, I'm not angry. I'm disgusted, was what I was, because all of the goals we conceded were just pony. I'm just like, what? You lot are
Yeah.
flipping pack of donkeys. What are you doing?
Yeah, or
Do you know
like,
what I
for
mean?
instance, the first goal against Galatasaray when it's bouncing, that's
What are you
Sunday league
doing?
stuff. I mean, don't let the ball
Yeah.
bounce. They literally
Dallo, don't let it bounce. Or Varane, if you can get there, don't let it
Yeah,
bounce. You know what I mean? The second goal, massive gaps. You
yeah.
know, thingy gets done. What's his name? That Amrabat gets done off the throw, didn't he?
Yeah,
Was it that
yeah, it
one?
just gets sucked
Yeah.
in, literally gets
Done off the
sucked in.
throw. Lindelof
Yeah,
comes across, doesn't do enough.
yeah.
Varane's too far away. Crap. Guy's just open in the middle by himself. All no one even there. And
Third
that was
goal,
with
you
11
literally
men.
got two defenders here, and you've got Amrabat there
All
behind him,
there,
and they're
playing
playing
all on.
offside, and you're going like, what?
Like
That's
at
like
10 men,
playing.
there wasn't one bit of consolidation to say, right, let's go 4-4-1. Well, that was it, but let's make sure there's no gaps. Let's keep it tight for the next 5-10 minutes, work out our formation and find our bearings with the 10 men. Then we'll try and score. It was like, just keep playing the same way. We'll get a chance. And then because we did
Yeah.
get a chance with Garnacho and then they blocked it, it was like, yeah, no, mate, we still got 10 men. Like, get back in, just relax. But we can't handle the emotions, innit? Same old crap.
Benji says, no against Rashi, just think he can do better. Well, clearly he can do better, obviously. I mean, the numbers and the eye test backs that one up, certainly, doesn't it? Once again, how many likes are we currently on at the moment? I will push. I'll keep pushing towards the end of this one.
Yeah, we're on 107. Oh, 132.
100, 132, and we've got over 750 people watching. So, you know, even if half of you click the like button, I know sometimes, you know, with this kind of discussion, this dynamite, discussion when it comes to aliens and extraterrestrials and spaceships, sometimes you can just get so engrossed in it all, and you think, oh, I forgot. You can be entranced like an abductee victim from a UFO. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I woke up. It's 3 days later. I forgot to click the like button. But you can still do it now if you haven't already. Snap out of it. Yeah, click the like button and be sure to subscribe while you're at it. You can see the number, top right-hand corner. This was an interesting statistic, Flex, talking about how the win percentage seems to have dropped after we won the Carabao Cup, suggesting that it's gone down to like 50%. Basically, we're winning like half the matches since we won our first trophy under Erik ten Hag. So the question was put to him, is there any hangover from that cup win? Have some players sort of rested on their laurels? And Ten Hag said, it's a fact. We dropped our levels and we have to get back to those levels. There are reasons for it. Didn't say what they are, but he said, still, it's not acceptable. What do you think those reasons are, Flex? Why have we dropped off? Do you think people they did get too comfortable? Do you think teams have sussed us out? Do you think it's a bit of both?
It's a little bit of everything, isn't it? Like, again, the mentality. Do you know what I mean? The striving to do better, the striving to go further, striving to run harder. Do you know what I mean? Apply yourself harder. Doesn't seem to have been there. It really doesn't since then. How many times have we said since Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final, which actually probably wasn't even our best games. We didn't have to be because we got 2 quick goals and just managed the final out. The Barca game at home. That's probably the last time I've seen us play good. You know, even in all the wins we've had since then, you know, we trickled over the line last year. Look at the start of this year. It's been bad. It's been really, really bad. And that comes from a multitude of things. It does come from, do you know what I mean, complacency and, you know, not applying yourself. And it comes from, you know, also some traits that we've seen in this team many times before from the same types of players who are still there. Obviously, there's new ones there, so they're part of this. But the ones who have been there before, we've seen it. Bruno, Rashi, Dallo, Lindelof, Shaw, like Wan-Bissaka. Like, they're all part of the old regime. And I'm not saying that it's all their fault. I'm just saying they're common denominators.
It did just feel like it does feel like a bit that they just, I don't know, they have lost the eye of the tiger a little bit. You know what I mean? When those trophies or those achievements were in reach, you really felt like they were going to do it. For instance, when we won the Carabao Cup, I think most people at the time thought we're going to win Europa League.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I mean? But that's going to happen. FA Cup, we thought, tell you what, get to the final, we can beat City. Of course we can. And maybe it was a bit of complacency. Maybe it was a bit of thought of, oh, we're back. And then particularly now that we're a little bit out of form, maybe those players kind of feel like maybe us fans feel like, where it's like, winning trophies. That seems miles away at the moment.
Oh, it does.
Maybe that's part of it as well. But it does. I do. We've said this loads of times, haven't we? That it does feel like you can trace it back to like the Carabao around that time. Certainly, the Carabao Cup, that Barca game, and after that Carabao Cup, when we lost 7-0 against Liverpool. That we haven't been the same since then. We just, for whatever reason, we haven't.
We have not.
And it's interesting they can point it out statistically as well. And as Ten Hag said, it's not acceptable, particularly when you know the play. They can do it. Like they've shown that they can do it. They've shown they can be United. They show that they can win trophies. And for whatever reason, it's just, again, I guess it goes back to mentality. Red since 1975 with the super chat says, it's simple. 4 previous managers, 4 differing styles of play. Players still hear from those 4 previous managers. Poor owners, terrible hierarchy. And we wonder why we have problems. Do you agree with that sentiment, Flex? That it's still a mishmash of lots of different eras of United?
Yeah. No, I hear that. There's a lot going on. Like I said, it's that's why when you're trying to dissect what's going on wrong with Ten Hag, it's not just one thing. It's multiple things that all coexist at the same time. But they don't leave him immune from criticism. But you do have to take them into consideration as to what he's actually having to deal with in terms of a multitude of things at once. Definitely agree.
And finally, last question of the press conference was, with the international break coming up, I can't believe we've got another one already, by the way. Is it important to go into that on a positive note? One of those strange questions where you go, no, we want to lose.
Exactly.
We want
What's the point?
We want to lose going into this.
The last one of the embargo as well. It's like, oh, for God's sake, turn it off.
We want to lose going into that international break. That'll probably benefit us. So he says, no, we have to win every game we want to win. So that will always be the case. The approach will not change. But I suppose it is an important point to point out that if we win and we do go into that international break, there is at least that sort of modicum of positivity of, okay, right, maybe we turn the corner. I mentioned earlier this morning, if Rashford plays okay against Brentford and then he goes on international duty and he scores for England, you might come back a completely different Marcus Rashford. You go, oh, actually, suddenly he's on a bit of a roll. If United lose this game and we have to wait, 2 weeks?
Just like the Arsenal game, yeah. Be crap. And then in that 2 weeks, because it would have been a loss to Brentford, which is...
the coverage, the stories that are going to come out. I think you even think about that.
Dressing room,
my God.
Everything.
They've got them lined up. The journalists will have them lined up now. They've got international stuff ready. They've got the international stuff ready.
They've got it saved in the draft, so just waiting to press play, press send. Even if we draw, you know what I mean? It's another game without a win. That'll be 11 games. Do you know what I mean? What would be that? 6 losses, 1 draw. It'd be awful. Do you know what I mean? It'd still only be, do you know what I mean, what? 2 wins. How many games we won this year? 3.
Wolves, Forest, Burnley. And technically Palace and Carabao Cup.
Technically Palace. So 4 wins in all competitions. That's fucking awful. And that Palace one again, we were happy, but because it felt like a routine win. Well, it was a routine win against a crap Palace side that weren't even their proper team. So it don't really count. And then for that, they went, hold this. Newcastle are coming.
I hadn't even really, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about the journalists, about what they will have planned. Because again, that Jadon Sancho story, it's a non-story because clearly it's not. It's a big story, but they dragged that and stretched that for like a week or 2 weeks, didn't they? And it was towards the end. You go, there's no new information here. Like it's getting ridiculous now.
Well, then it got to just like he's quiet, but sometimes people say he's too quiet and shit like that, and then it started getting ridiculous.
We find that stuff at Dortmund, at Man City, and all that kind of stuff, and you just think, oh my God, I'm just trying to think of what could be coming out. Anything, nothing's off the table, realistically, actually. In that 2-week period, it could be anything. Oh my God. That's going to be why 2 weeks.
We cannot afford to lose. Seriously.
Red with the super chat says, why did this fan base just glaze over the serious injury crisis we have? The back 4 changes every week. We aren't playing Amrabat at left back for fun. Well, it certainly is a part of it. I think the problem is, the reason why, I don't say they glaze over it, but I think despite injuries, there is an expectation you beat Crystal Palace at home. You know what I mean? Or, you play good stuff, and that's kind of been the problem. I think, it's a valid point, and sometimes it's a point that people don't want to hear. You go, well, injuries. People go, well, lots of people have got injuries. And it's true. Like a lot of teams do have injuries. Ours, particularly in defense. I mean, it's somewhat unprecedented to sign an emergency left back because both your left backs are injured, and then that left back get injured. That is kind of nuts, what you're kind of dealing with there. And let's face it, if something happens to Dalot, we're screwed. Like we won't have any fullbacks available. So it is a bad situation. But at the same time, that's no reason for Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes to be playing badly as well.
No, that's individual to them. You know what I mean? They're not pulling their weight. Simple as that. But we cannot. I said it again. We've said it every game. We said it against Palace. We said it against Galatasaray. But we just cannot afford to lose this game. We can't. We can't. Or draw. It must be 3 points. And the problem is if he just scrape by over 1-0, won't really do much to lift the mood. It just stops you losing, so that it's not one game more towards Ten Hag being in massive trouble. But the performance, you know what I mean? There's not really anything that can happen tomorrow. Even if we won comfortably, people wouldn't be like, good, that we're back. No, because it's only one game. But if we lost, it's just more negativity. So we just need to win, get an international break out the way. We just need a constant run of games where we win.
Well, that's what this was meant to be, wasn't it? This was meant to be this period. And because if we'd beaten Palace and Galatasaray, what was that, like 4 on the bounce? We'd be like, right, yeah, sorted, no problem. And it does feel like it could have gone that way. Like it's not as if like there was this huge we were out of both of those games. It feels like it could have gone that way. I hate using the term fine margins, but I don't know. And I genuinely going into tomorrow, don't know.
Don't know, mate.
Don't know. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow.
Not feeling
and people say, honestly, negative view, negative presser, and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I saw you do the predictions with Natalie Sawyer, and both of you were like, 1-0, who to? Don't know. Basically.
Yeah, we both went 2-1, I think.
Yeah,
but obviously, I'm gonna, when it comes down to it, I'm never gonna just utter the words. I think we're gonna lose 2-1 at home to Brentford. But deep down, can it happen? Absolutely.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. Well, ending on positive. There you go. We don't know what the result's going to be tomorrow. To make things more positive, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Bottom right-hand corner. What's on tap tomorrow? Of course, it is match day. So you got the full match day experience. You'll have the road trip, Fleck driving up to Old Trafford with Josh in the car with their coats, hopefully, both of them, too. We'll have the match view, KG. I think even the KG luck thing's not even really a thing anymore, because we've been losing. We've been losing when he's there.
Everybody just forget all forms of judge and this person's responsible for that. Just look at our team. We've got bigger things to worry about than than what fans' fault it is that the players are doing this crap.
Exactly. So KG's going to be on the match view tomorrow. Then afterwards, I'll be live with the full-time view. You can call in, have your say if you are indeed a member. And then we'll have all of the fan views from inside UVHQ and outside the ground as well. Anyway, guys, we're out there. Have a good one, and we'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.